What's up, REL 10B? I'm here for your 2-week recap, and let's get into Swiss. Alright, I do not have a 10B non-Swiss bracket to look at, but I do have the website here. Games for week 8. Let's see here. Spicosaurus takes A-Grain. 130 upsets Ravenpo with the 2-0 victory. East End Geezers, Wedge and Hindi tie. Rats vs. Chorfs, that's surprising. Tolerant Left takes a beating from the Ye Old Guard. And Nocturnal and California Love finally give up a game to Superfed. Superfed is on the board at the end of the season. We're going to be looking at Week 9 games. We're going to be looking at what the matchups for Swiss are going to be and how everybody's developing going into the end of the season here. Week 9. A-Grain, Diddles, Passing, and Nocturnal tie it out 1v1. Tolerant Left and Drunkernaut versus Superfed. Superfed picks up a second win with a 4-1. Oh, it only took him getting up to 1,700 TV before he could start winning games, so I guess there's something to it. Wedge beats out Yayo in a big upset. Yayo is the strong front leader, and losing to Wedge is going to hurt, but we still have 4 games left? 3 games left. We had 9, so 4. 130 losing to Hindi. That could be from a leftover beating he took in beating Ravenpo. And Spicosaurus losing to Poe. An unsurprising dwarf smashing of Amazons. So that was week 8 and 9. Let's look at where everybody is standing going into the Swiss. I wish I had visuals for you, but I do not. First off is going to be, where are they at? Wedge in first with the East End Geezers. 6 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, 20 points, in a commanding lead, 2 points over the next highest. And let's look how he's doing. After, let's see how many games we got here. 9 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, including the Greenhorn. We have a very well-developed Chorf team. At 1660, it is the second highest TV team, I believe, in the 10B League, and ready for his second season. Billy Brown Bread, the Blodge Bull, I don't know what he rolled for a level up, but he's looking great as a ball handler. And Barney Rubble, with break tackle now, making him a real threat. Spam in the guard, a killer ready and leveled up, 1 in the wings, and a 1 plus strength Chorf blocker to round it out. This is exactly where you want to see a Chorf team at the end of the first season. He is ready for a second season. DP, a Hobgoblin with sure hands, which is great, but at this point I feel like you want to get Brown Bread carrying the ball because strength 4, movement 6 with sprint, sure feet, and blodge. Oh, yes please. Wrestle Hobgoblin, which is great. You've got that. And some dirty player. There is no bloat on this team. Everything is where it needs to be. Maybe Barnaby Rudge can go the way of the dinosaurs. But other than that, Wedge is looking great to go into the Swiss and great going into next season, barring somebody imploding on this team. Next up is Yayo and the Ye Old Guard, former REL 1 coach here, rocking the Nurgle with 5 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss, and in second place with 18 points. Let's go Yayo here. George, get guard, pretty standard. His Warriors continue. This is what surprises me. His Warriors continue to level up exceedingly fast. 3 level 2 Warriors, and Undying is real close to getting his block. So this is great going in for second season. You want to see a lot of SPP on the Warriors, and a lot of Nurgle teams struggle to get Warriors leveled up early. So he's in a good part for the second season. I don't agree with taking Claw on the Pestigore off the bat, but it could just be that he was in a tough matchup the other week. Let me see here. Who did he face that would... I guess Wedge. He could have got it just for Wedge. He didn't get it for Drunkernaut. So he might have just got this Claw just to face Wedge down and have something. but hopefully he can get a touchdown on Cosmic real soon to get him the mighty blow claw and start building a real killer. Other than that, pretty standard. One ball carrier Pestigore, one sacker Pestigore. The guard rodder's still alive, and a dirty player kick. This is the astounding thing here is how well he's leveled up these warriors, and I'm really excited to see Yayo carry this forward. So that is your second place coming out of the round robin. After that, we have third, or tied for third, but winning on TD diff would be Spicosaurus in the REBBL leader people, the foul-heavy Amazons, going 5, 1, and 3 with a 3 TD diff, beating out Ravenpo's Axe Grinders, who are also 5, 1, and 3, but with a 0 TD diff. We got a ball carrier, we got lots of guard, we got lots of tackle, which is great for this div. We've got one sacker with a mighty blow. This is I can't really comment on Amazon team. I'm not an Amazon coach. I don't coach Amazons, but this looks like a solid team to me. This looks like a team that could face down a human team on the same TV. They're super lean at 1240. As long as he gets a decent... I worry about the second season if he gets a division with a whole ton of high TV teams. But if he gets one where he can really even out that lean team value and all the value he has... And there's not a lot of tackle, which happens with people coming out of divisions that weren't as elfy and Amazon as 10B. I really think he's going to have an easy time because he's mass spammed Blodge. Almost everybody has Blodge except for a few line women and his thrower. And you're not going to be expecting to see as much tackle as you see in this division. So as long as he dodges a division full of dwarfs and chorfs, Spicosaurus should have a great second season if he keeps going. Alright, next up is the Axe Grinders, who are not yet in the Swiss, holding us back, but I can pull them up online. Nothing super exciting since the last time we looked at them. Troll Slayers with Piling On, Mighty Blow, one with Tackle. A couple guard blitzers. Nothing really new. It's just standard dwarfs. Guard everywhere, Mighty Blow on the Troll Slayers. The kickoff return, plus Agi Runner and the Kick Runner for the Boomer team. I'm hoping Poe gets to enjoy a second season with dwarves, but this is a pretty standard dwarf team. Coming in at 5th with 15 points, only 1 point between the people at 3rd and 4th, is A-Grain, our new elf coach. Let's take a look at A-Grain. He has 4 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses, a 3 TD diff, and he has average high elves. These are the word average. This is a good way, I think, for him to learn high elves. I mean, when you're playing 130s high elves, you kind of have everything that you want, a little bit everything more. This is just standard white bread high elf, and A-Grain's making it work. Good run in the season. Looking good going into the Swiss. There's not a lot of tackle or bash for him to deal with. So I think as long as he dodges Spicosaurus, and he might actually dodge both Spicosaurus and Poe and Wedge for the first round. So first round in, he takes a win, and then he might have to face down some of the teams that are rough for him. But a losing track helps the team survive. Not saying that's the play he needs to make. Everybody should play to win their games. But the more he wins, the more he's going to be racking up into the tackle players, with Spicosaurus having the 2 Rackle, and then the Dwarf and the Chorf. Alright, after A-Grain, we have Hindi, the only non-veteran coach in the middle of the pack. This is impressive. Rats. Hindi is running at a 3-3-3, the perfect season, and a 0 TD diff. Hindi is the tap water of REL. This is about how my first season went with Chaos. This is what I really like. I always go 1 Mighty Blow, 1 Tackle, 1 into the Killer if you can roll the doubles. So this is really nice starting out. Got the doubles in for the Storm Vermins, which is needed. 2 heads pickup on the Big Hen's Gutter Runner means he can finally get in there and retrieve the ball in the most annoying way. I'm not a big fan of the Blodge sidestep diving tackle until I get super developed Gutter Runners. But he's got it, and hopefully it works. Dizziness is going to be a monster sacker. I would start feeding him all the touchdowns, which is going to be rough because he's got wrestle, but you got to take that risk. And Naja kind of dragging up the end. This is a lean, mean, Skaven team. While I might not agree with the big hand pickup, he's going to make it work for him. And everything else is looking great. Kick, wrestle. He's got everything he needs. Maybe a dirty player. Maybe another bench come the season. But this is a good start for Hindi. Alright. Coming in at the bottom half of the board, 130. Not doing as well as his counterpoint A-Grain, but not doing awful. 7th place with 2 wins, 5 draws, and 2 losses. All the draws. He's taken a bit more of a beating, but he's also gotten a bit more of the level ups. Let's see here. Great thrower. Amazing blitzer. Agi 5, leap, blodge, yeah, okay. Failing before trying is going to level up. I wonder what he's rolled and going to pick. Probably sidestep, maybe, if it's just normal. Snakes is 4 SPP away from getting block, I assume, which will make him all the deadlier. Let's see. Car crash, I would hope, gets Raj or Rackle. I think Rackle wouldn't hurt. Letting Squiggy down, kick and movement. I guess you keep him for a while. And throwing dice, AV7. You're already elves. AV8's the worst AV, so might as well take an AV7. Why not? This is a team that just looks like it's fun to play. You get the Mighty Blow piling on, you got 2 Agi 5 pieces, and you've got a smattering of blodge. This is a team I'd like to take into a second season. This is a team you take home to introduce to your parents. It's just a shame you can't show them all the wins you got. So that was 130. Decidedly below average. And then, with 2 wins, no longer in the last place, the highest TV team of 10B going into the Swiss. None can beat him leveling up. They can beat him in a game. They can win. But, you know, he's still going to get SPP and bloat like a motherfucker. We have Captain Stabbin picking up block, making him still probably likely to double skull. Milf Hunter and Come Fiesta both have block. Money Talks is still probably one of my favorite pieces with leap and guard. Once he gets block, he will be pretty disgusting if he doesn't die. Team Squirt is a great catcher and probably going to be racking up all the touchdowns. I have no idea what Happy Tugs is going to get. Probably Dauntless? I'm assuming he's going to become a sacker. I know Fed mentioned something about that, so I'm going to assume Happy Tugs gets Dauntless or Strip Ball or Tackle. One of those 3. The Frenzy piece that he picked up because Arch or somebody suggested it gets block, making him much more useful, and actually kind of a nice early addition to the team. And then 2 Wrestle and a Dirty Player. This is a team with a lot of money, a lot of players, and as long as he doesn't implode like Kislev tend to do, he should be good. He is super bloaty, though, for what he has. With only 12 players, 1 guard, and 1 real brawler, he's at 1640 over even the next highest, which was, oh, well, I guess he would be, let's see, 2 level ups. 1 level up. So he'll be at 1660, so maybe he's not the highest. Nope. Wedges. So he is possibly 20 TV below Wedge at the end of this week when they level up here. So second highest TV, and Wedge's team offers plus strength, 3 guard, a claw mighty blow, and then a bunch of other stuff. And Kislev offer some wrestle and block and some leap. So I feel like you're kind of waiting for some standouts to happen. We're waiting for some big level ups to make these the Kislev we fear. Maybe another season of building up at the bottom of the board for Superfed. But still, before we forget to comment on it, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 5 losses with a -2 TD diff. So he's finally on the board, and in a big way, this past week. Nocturnal, not in the Swiss, but I can pull him up for you. California Love, one of the only 2 teams without a win, Superfed is out of that drawing, so there's only 2 teams without wins still. 4 draws, 5 losses, and a -9 TD diff. It is not going well for Nocturnal on humans here. We've got a Mighty Blow Blitzer, we've got a Blodge Guard Blitzer, a Guard Blitzer, and then the 2 Agi 4 catchers that he still has. One with a move bust. So those are great. And other than that, it's pretty much a basic team. I'll be honest, after the season that Nocturnal's had with this human team, the 2 Agi 4 are nice, but I don't see a second season going well for him at only... Let's take a look here. At only 1460 TV, 4 games to go. Should be pretty bash-free at the bottom of the bracket, but with no wins, we might see Nocturnal reroll here. I don't know if you keep that. I don't know if 2 Agi 4 catchers are worth keeping. It's not like super fun. It's not like when you pick up Agi 5 and just do everything. It just makes them good for humans. So that would be Nocturnal, if I had him here, holding us up. And finally, our only other team without a win this season is the Drunkernaut, the man that plays while drunk, coming out with 0 wins, 2 draws, 7 losses, and a -13 TDF. Really just inflating the stats for everybody else. But at least he means well. Drunkernaut, 1090. This is a team I expect to see rerolled. Amazons out of the first season. The first season is supposed to be your good season when you're super strong. A little rough in a division that everybody seemed to gear against the Blodge, but still. Great thrower who went sure hands. I'm kind of surprised by that. Not because I don't like the added bonus of not having to use rerolls and all that other stuff, but because you've got the strong arm, might as well just commit to making it a monster thrower. 1 catcher, not much to write home about. Couple Mighty Blow and guard and some tackle and some wrestle. It's a little less developed than the other, a lot less developed than the other Amazon team. But it's a base. I think you just scrap this team and start again next season. But that's up to the Drunkernaut, what he wants to do with them. If he's enjoying the Zons and wants to go into a second season, you might get lucky and get an easy division with not a lot of tackle and have a chance to really balloon out before they hit the point of no return for Zons. But I'm expecting a rough first season and not anything to write home about other than a thrower that he's going to reroll and try something a bit bashier. Either way, this is where everybody's looking going into the Swiss, which is probably one of the most exciting things to try out this season. Everybody's testing it out with the round robin into Swiss, and I'm excited to see. Matchups for the first week should be East End Geezers versus the Yield Guard. Let me just pull it up here. When did East End Geezers... They just played, didn't they? That's going to be interesting. East End Geezers and Yield Guard finished out the round robin season, and they are first and second, so I expect to see them first in the Swiss. So they're going to have a back-to-back matchup if everything goes as I expect it to go. And maybe this time, Yale can pull back and beat out the East End Geezers, but we'll see. We should see the REBBL leader people, Amazons by Spicosaurus, facing off against Raven Poe's Dwarves. Wow, really? Poe and Spicosaurus also play in Week 9. So we should see, unless I don't know how the Swiss exactly works with setup, we should see 2 Week 9 back-to-backs. So a chance of redemption, or if you're Spicosaurus, a chance to go up against heavy tackle dwarves twice in a row. That's rough. Real rough. Next, we should see A-Grain, Diddles Passing High Elves, versus Hindi, Festering Swords. I expect that this should be a pretty standard game either way. I think Hindi has the tools to deal with A-Grain at this point. He's got the Tackle Mighty Blow. He's got 2 Mighty Blow. He's got the Retriever. He's got enough gutter runners to dive in and do everything. But we'll see. A-Grain's been playing really well. 130 should be facing off against Superfed. At this point, where are we at here? 130 rocking the 1500 Superfed with the 1640. He'll get a wizard, but I don't know. Oh yeah, he'll get a wizard and then some if he wants to spend. But I'm gonna give this one to Superfed, barring some shenanigans. I don't think at this point that Superfed can use the unreliability of Kislev as an excuse anymore. Everybody's got block or guard or almost everything in between. So there's 3 linemen without a offense/defensive skill. So I think now is the time that they've hit the critical mass and they need to start winning games. And Fed can stop talking about how this is a development season. I'm just developing. I don't want to go to playoffs. I'm going to play next season. Ugh. Anyways. Don't forget, people, there is still a bounty on Superfed's team. If you kill anybody, outright kill anybody with level ups, you will get money to Steam or PayPal, your choice. But we're going into the Swiss. You still have a chance to ruin Superfed's season. And then Nocturnal should be facing off against Drunkernut. One of them will get a win this season, unless they draw. Never mind. They'll probably draw and end this season winless. It's kind of rough. I expect both these teams to reroll. They're both decent coaches, and I don't think this season reflects their skill. And you're going to want to just kind of wipe the taste out of your mouth and come back at it. But maybe they make a push at the end of the Swiss. Swiss is 4 rounds, so the most change we can get is 12 points, which means Drunkernot can't make the top. Superfed can't make it. Statistically, only 7 and up could make it. Chances are you're looking at somewhere between, I would say, a 4 to 5 point swing. So those fighting for the playoff spot were most likely going to be Wedge, Yayo, Spicosaurus, Ravenpoe, and maybe A-Grain. After that, you drop to 12 points with Hindi. It's 15. A-Grain being 5 points below Wedge is where I'd put the absolute lowest cutoff, is A-Grain, Poe, Spicosaurus, Yayo, and Wedge fighting for that singular playoff spot. And I know somebody linked the... Oh my god. Somebody linked the playoff bracket somewhere. There we go. Let me pull it up here. Path to the championship. 10B, 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 10B. Let's find who's in the first. Wedge right now? Wedge. If you are Wedge, 10B gets to play. If I can find it, I am so prepared this week for the recap. Speaking of which, as I hunt for... I don't see Wedge on here. Does anybody know where 10B is? Minor champion, stunted champion. I'm trying to find who's going to be playing. This is going to annoy me. Wedge! Oh, no. Ooh, okay. Okay. Hard pass. Those that go to playoffs right now, it's slated, and this will probably move. Right now, it's slated for Papa Nasty, which means you'll be facing Big O Division 2 if you make it to playoffs from 10B. Sorry, Big O Division 1, Position 2. So your chances are either Deezer MFK's Norse, Dirtief Basha's Lizardman, Papa Nasty with the 2500 Orc team, and maybe if you're lucky, Jape NZ falls down there somewhere into second place, and you get Dark Elves. But I really hope that whoever goes to playoffs in 10B, that you take all of the energy you can from your fellow teammates, because it's going to be a rough one. A real rough one. And I really hope that it doesn't continue to be Bash Incorporated in the second position, because if so, I don't think that going to playoffs counts as a good thing for anyone here. So that is the recap for week 8, 9, and the start of the Swiss. You can tell I'm super prepared for this. My excited Lumi game of the weeks is 2 of them. I'm excited to see the head-to-head rematches because somehow we got 2 of them. We should be getting Poe versus Spicosaurus in week 1 after they just played week 9, and we should be getting Yayo versus Wedge week 1 after they played week 9. Those are my 2 excited Lumi games of the week. I want to see if the losers can become winners, and the winners can become losers, and you're all losers in my mind. Or winners, your choice. But I will be gone next week in glorious sunny Florida. I'm trying to find a recapper to fill in for me and cover the first round of the Swiss so you do not miss out. When I come back, we'll be back to the regular setup for the end of the season, hopefully covering Chorse, if I can get beautiful Super Bowl winner, what's his name? Bleeding Hippie on with us. And I believe we still have some High Elves to talk about again, and then Hummersep should be on to talk about Kislev with me. No, Amazons with me at the end of the season. So we'll be back for the end of the season, the last 3 weeks. We'll be back to our regular scheduled setup, but next week I'm going to hopefully find a replacement as I lay around the beach. As always, go forth and have a great week, boys.